All right, guys. So it's that time of the night to talk about what I read about this morning. And I'm like, really? Not again, not surprised. But let's go to Loudwire. And actually, I saw the original story on Ultimate Classic Rock, but this popped up, so we're going to read it from here. And this is probably transposed from Ultimate Classic Rock, but it says that Journey's back in court. Jonathan Cain has once again sued Neil Schon, and Neil is the group's only remaining founding member. And Jonathan is allegedly, I have to add that in there, charging him with overspending. And it's not really alleged. If it's in the court and it's written in a document, then it really is happening. But I like adding that word just for my own personal purposes. So remember, we go back to 2022, and isn't it weird to like even think, oh my gosh, that was almost a couple of years ago. And there was that whole issue with the banned credit card. And, Jonathan said Neil was spending too much money. And then there was a security guard placed out of someone's dressing room. And it was very messy. They weren't looking at each other while they were on stage. It was not good. It was not good. And we had gone to one of the concerts when all of this was going on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you could feel it. Like you could feel the tension from the audience, no question. I'm kind of good like that, and I don't know, my gut always tells me things, and I'm usually right. And and I'm not saying this because this is out now, but I kind of felt like something was up. Here's the thing. They're on stage together. And remember, at the beginning of this year, it's like, oh, we're great. We're doing great. Everything's good. And we want to hear that. We want to hear positive stuff, right? But, there was still a lawsuit happening. There was still a lawsuit in place. And, a lot was said during that time publicly. So I know that if I was being sued by someone, I don't know if I could realistically and nicely perform alongside of them. Now, I get it. They're in a large business. I mean, Journey is a big, ginormous business. But to all of a sudden sweep everything under the rug like that and say everything's great now, we're all good. I don't know. Because it's all human nature. It's not like I'm sitting here saying, of course it didn't work out. Like, of course. No, it's a human nature thing. It's if Johnny pokes Jimmy in the eye, right? Jimmy is always going to remember that when he sees Johnny. Like, imagine if Jimmy started bleeding because Johnny didn't clip his fingernails or something. He's never going to forgive Johnny. Jimmy is always going to be pissed off at Johnny. There's just no question. Even if Jimmy and Johnny are now 40, and they bump into each other at the local supermarket, and Jimmy says to Johnny, let's just make it Johnny. Johnny says to Jimmy, hey, Jimmy, remember me? I'm from elementary school. And Jimmy goes, yeah, you poked me in the eye and you made me bleed. And Johnny says, yeah, I'm really sorry, man, that happened. And Jimmy says, well, I never forgot that. And the scar is from you 40 years ago. And then they start fighting in the tomato section.
And Johnny has cut his nails in 40 years.
I told you to go away. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't forget wounds that are cut really, really deep. You don't. And how they were doing it, And I gave them credit for doing it because, again, this is a business. This is a very public business. Guys are on stage. Your fans are there to have a great time, really. And when all this stuff was going on, their ticket sales were through the roof, let's face it. Through the freaking roof. They were selling out like so many shows. But now, so this 2022 case over a banned credit card, Jonathan, his new court filing, so this is a new thing, this is brandy new, accuses Schoen of maxing out an American Express account with a $1 million limit, while exceeding a daily hotel fee cap of $1,500. Instead, the suit claims Schoen has spent up to $10,000 per night. And we go down the article. The lawsuit also says debt payments have been blocked. Now, I don't understand what that means. I kind of like quickly glanced through this when I was pulling it up. So debt payments have been blocked. What does that mean? If you're paying the debt, why would it be blocked? I don't understand that part. At one point, Journey's finances were allegedly in such disarray that the crew and production company couldn't be paid during their ongoing stadium tour. Now, that's pretty bad. Like that's, when I work, I want to get paid. Just saying. Especially like all the stuff they have to do, traveling. And so, yeah. Jonathan's lawyers at Fox Rothschild LLP say that these unforeseen strains on cash flow now pose a severe threat of harm to the company and to Journey's storied history of musical greatness. They say that the band is suffering through divided loyalties, crew defections, and general tension. Yeah. And you know what? I'll be willing to bet the tensions probably never went away from the last time. You all can say you're friends, and that's great. Like I said, I'm not sitting here to say, oh, I'm glad they're fighting. No, I'm never glad to see anybody going through strife, because you know what? Stress does a lot to your body. I've been through a lot of it the past few years, a ton. And it can do a number on your health. So I never will sit here and say, oh, I'm so happy that they're fighting. Oh my God, it gives me something to talk about. No, that's not the case at all. It just, I'm just kind of saying what I had been thinking about, how could they have been really good? Because they're suing each other. So one's suing the other or whatever. Lots of stuff going on. And let's see, the court filing laments what has become very much public battle between petitioner and respondent. But the situation is now impacting the band's reputation throughout the music industry. What does that mean? What does that mean? The band's actual onstage performance is at the moment one of the only aspects of the business that has not suffered. But you know what? I bet if you ask someone's going to say they feel something in the audience. You're always going to have one person who says, oh, I saw something, I felt something. Yeah. So Jonathan's lawsuit says that this far-reaching deadlock can only be resolved through restructuring Freedom 2020 Inc. Oh boy. You know what restructuring sometimes, occasionally, allegedly could mean? The B word. And he co-founded Freedom 2020 Inc. with Neil to oversee Journey's touring operations. And Jonathan and Neil are the only two people that hold the seats on that board. The new petition is asking for a court-ordered custodian to act as a third board member in order to break tie votes. Schoen hasn't yet responded to the filing made in Delaware's Chancery Court. He's been part of every album and tour since Journey began in 1973 under the management of late Herbie Herbert. And let me just see. And Journey has gone through a long series of legal battles beginning in 2020, but They appeared to have resolved things by creating a new organizational structure that involved both Jonathan and Neil and their wives. Remember, we go back a little bit in time, and allegedly Paula White Cain and Mikhail Schoen have, come together and allegedly got everyone back together, saying, listen, cut it out, basically, like being the moms and saying, just stop it. Let's move forward and fix this. But, if something's going on in the background that another lawsuit has been filed, there's no way things were decent. They can appear to be, because remember, social media does, that person looks like they have a Lamborghini and they're standing in front of Johnny's Lamborghini and it's not theirs. But you don't know that. You don't know it's Johnny's Lamborghini. You think it's theirs because the social media looks like it's theirs. By the way, that new Tesla car is terrible looking. Have you seen it? It's terrible. It looks like a spaceship on steroids. Anyway. So Mikhail is not named as a respondent in Jonathan's latest lawsuit, but this new arrangement appears to be breaking down. And let's see, so the court documents say when the company faces these precarious financial situations, this is what the court documents say, respondent and his wife begin to accuse petitioner, the band manager, the company's accountant, and other company personnel of stealing. This conduct further triggers internal strife. Oy. 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 That's all I can say is oy. So let me see if there's anything else that has popped up. They'll be going overseas together. There's only a handful of shows left in the U.S. So, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. But, the overseas thing, they all have to be together. That's going to be interesting. Journey. Let's just see Journey. Let's just do that. Let's see if anything else new has popped up today. Okay, that was a whole bunch on this lawsuit. How did I not say? Well, I was in Boston yesterday, so I clearly didn't. I missed out on this news that came out yesterday. Let me just read this quickly. So I'm guessing, I don't think the other lawsuit was even settled. I don't know. Let me see if you guys say anything. I don't think it was even settled. I think it was still out there. Hey, thanks for joining the membership, 37 UK Chris. Holy moly. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. You're a new member and you're doing all this stuff. Thank you very, very much. And we're so happy to have you here. Let's see. Oh, Eunice, you made it before I signed off. That's good. Eunice says, I feel that they have just not kept it together since Steve left. Steve jumped that journey, but they have beat it to the ground. And 37 UK Chris said, yeah, it's so bad. And Deej says, Eunice, I agree. This is really silly that N has no idea how to keep the band money safe for all. And 37 UK Chris is happy to be here. It's easy to listen to. But thank you very much. And let's see, Cindy... I'm not even going to read that, Cindy. I love you, but everybody can read that. So let's see what else has been said about this. It says what makes the ongoing legal issues especially awkward, and this is from consequence.net, is that they're sharing the stage together. So guaranteed now, this newest lawsuit is going to make it even more awkward. And had to be stuff brewing. Beforehand, of course. It just doesn't pop out from nowhere. It doesn't. So according to Bloomberg, Bloomberg even put something out about this. Bloomberg, the financial site. Jonathan's lawsuit, publicly filed on Tuesday, July 30th, alleges that Schoen maxed out an American Express card with a $1 million limit and blew past a $1,500 per night hotel allowance while also chartering private jets and hiring a friend as a security guard. The keyboardist also accuses the guitarist of preventing the band from paying its debts. Okay, so that's where I was questioning before. I'm like, why are the debts being blocked? Like, I wouldn't understand that. Like, if you want to pay a bill, you should be allowed to pay a bill. So I still don't get it, but that makes a little more sense the way that was written. And Jonathan says that despite all of this that's going on, Journey's still delivering their best efforts on stage. And he said that the band's actual onstage performance is at the moment one of the only aspects of the business that has not suffered. And I read that from the other article that I was looking at. And let's see. So in 2022, after Jonathan filed the same type of lawsuit against Neil, and it was also about American Express overspending, Neil, filed a cease and desist letter against Jonathan after Jonathan performed Don't Stop Believin' with supporters Marjorie Taylor Greene, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and others at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. But here's the thing. We know that Paula White Cain is the former spiritual advisor to former President Donald Trump. I mean, they are the families are friends. They're dear friends. They talk to each other all the time. And I mean, that's, again, like, they commingle. They're together. They're friends with each other. They're in each other's lives. So, I mean, Lord, I don't know. Just it's so that's where it gets nitpicky. And okay, well, if you're going to do this, then you can't do that. If I have to do this, then you can't do that. And that's, of course, that's what it's, again, it's natural. That's what's going to happen. Somebody comes at you, you're going to defend yourself. And these things are going to start to come out. So you just got to wonder, okay, is it going to be, you know what? I guess all I can say is I hope that this doesn't, I know that other people are probably like, oh, I can't wait to see all the public media stuff. I hope that doesn't, this time around, I hope it's kept private. I really do. I hope that all of that stuff that came out before, it stays in the back lines. It just stays back there. Because we know the suit's out there. Okay, we know it's out there. Personally, I wouldn't say anything. Let Al, don't, because I hear you breathing. Don't do it. Nope. I told you no. Don't do it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can say one thing?
No.
No.
I'll give you a hug later. No, Al. I told you.
I just want to share with everybody, my favorite song by that band is Separate Ways.
I told him not to talk. I did. We had a whole conversation. So that's just what I hope for. I hope that it's not a repeat public media-wise like it was last time. Because that was crazy. That was crazy. And again, we all talked about it so many times. We were sad about it. It's not the fact of, oh, we love seeing the negative stuff. Oh my gosh, look at who said what about it. No, that's terrible. Who needs that in their life? And like I said, stress does bad stuff to people. Let's see what you guys are saying here before I go on. Let's see. It's a lot to think about. That's true. Deej, politics shouldn't matter. So there was Jade Marcus from Rascal Flatts and Generation Radio, and I hope that Generation Radio comes to the Rhode Island, Massachusetts area again, because that's a fun band. He put out a post a couple of weeks ago, and that's when I had Kurt. We talked about it last week, how, when you're on stage and stuff like that, keep the politics aside. And, the problem I'm having right now is that a lot of celebrities are just getting so divided. Okay, I'm voting for this one. You all should vote for who I'm voting for. I'm voting for this one. You all should be you should be voting for who I'm voting for. And the problem I'm having with that is that the celebrities on either side, they're basically, well, if you don't like who I like, you're stupid. And if you don't like who I like, you're dumb. I don't like that. I mean, we are very lucky we are able to have the freedoms that we have here and vote for who we want to vote. That's a whole other issue. We're not talking about that. We don't talk about that stuff here. But, you have your opinions and keep them out of the arena of, that's what I think anyway, because it doesn't just end there. That's the problem. It doesn't end there. It turns into, like I said, a cat fight. And that's what I've seen with a lot of celebrities and artists. Well, you shouldn't like this one. Or you should like this one because I like them. And this is the best thing for us. Well, that's your opinion. And that's great. So you vote for them. But you shouldn't belittle people who don't like your choice. And that's what's been happening a lot. So Jay DeMarcus put out this post, and I loved it. I thought it was great. And he's so right. Keep it off the stage. The fans are there to get away from all of that because we have enough of that in our daily lives, right? We have enough of it. We don't need to get a ticket, get dressed, go out to a live show that we're going to have a great time at and have to hear about that. We don't want to hear about that. We want to hear your music and want to have a good time. Have a beer, 2, Prosecco, whatever you have, fruit juice, Kool-Aid, I don't care. Whatever you do to have a good time and just get away from that stuff. So that's the thing that's crazy. So Patty said, I heard Don't Stop Believing in the background of the movie trailer for Harold and the Purple Crayon. Really? I'll have to dig into that, Patty. Thanks for that info. So if that's the case, but I think trailers are different because there was also a Journey song in a Taco Bell commercial a year or two ago. And I'm like, I don't think anybody approved that. I think those trailers just kind of happen. But who knows? Maybe Don't Stop Believing's in the movie. And, I could see Steve Perry agreeing to that, allowing that to be in Harold and the Purple Crayon. I could see him saying, yeah, because it's light. And Steve Perry's all about light. He was all concerned about the Sopranos finale. He didn't want that, their song to be used in that because he had to know what the scene was going to be before he agreed to it. Because Steve is the deciding factor. Let's see.
I love Steve Perry.
Dee says, me too, because the more they complain about one another, the more it burns us fans out. And I really think this is going to be, if this goes the way it went last time, no bueno. It's not going to be good. I don't think it's going to be as sustainable as the last time for everybody involved, band and fans. Just my own personal gut feeling, because the last time was pretty intense. It was really intense for fans, and from what you heard, kind of, sorta, the band is, I can't imagine what they went through. And I have a feeling, like I said, this has been going on for some time. I don't think this is just a pop-up thing. I think this is going on for longer than we know about.
Dee says, I'm a believer in freedom choice, etc. Most of my friends don't agree with me and the Cains, but we're still friends and adults, and I respect everyone's opinion politically. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, thankfully, I hang out with people. We're all in agreement of the same things. Like everything. We agree on everything. Like we don't even debate because we're all like, yeah. So I'm lucky that way, you know, but when you got somebody on another side, and I do have that in my life, you know, you just say, you know what, we've decided we just don't talk about that. I don't bring it up. As long as you don't bring it up.
Bad person. Everybody has a right to their opinion.
Don't bring it up.
But don't try, you know, like we were talking about a few weeks ago. Well, people who the presidents of political parties, they kept it to themselves. They don't do what they do now. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
You know? Love each other, you know?
Yeah. Love each other.
We love each other.
It's true.
I mean, give your opinions to yourself. You have a right to your opinion, but, you know, embrace each other.
Like Ringo Starr says, peace and love, man.
Right.
Peace and love.
And take a photograph while you're at it.
So let's see. Although, I don't know who said this, but although Mr. Cain is free to express his personal beliefs and associations when he does that on behalf of Journey or for the band, such conduct is extremely deleterious to the Journey brand as it polarizes the band's fans and outreach. Journey is not and should not be political, read the letter. Oh, that was on the cease and desist letter. You know, was that even really out there when that happened? I mean, I only recall it because so much went down after it had happened. But in terms of it being thrown in everybody's face, I don't recall. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But let's see, Jonathan. It says Jonathan's new lawsuit also mentions Neil's wife, stating that. And this is from the letter. I'm not saying this. This is from consequence.net. Worse yet, when the company faces these precarious financial situations, respondent and his wife, we already read this though, begin to accuse petitioner, the band manager, the company's accountant, and other company personnel for stealing. This conduct further triggers internal strife. So again, there's, of course, you know, let's face it. Like I said, somebody gets attacked, they're going to attack back. It's just human nature. It's human nature. Oh, the entire lawsuit can be read here. Well, I'm not saying but there it is. Okay. So this is from Bloomberg Law. Let's see if it opens. Oh, here it is. Filed July 30th. Oh boy. Let me share it with you guys. Let me share it. How's that? Let's do it. Let's just do it. There it is. Can't make it up. Get rid of that. So he's basically in the beginning, he's asking for a third custodian to be the tiebreaker. In the case they need that. Because of a two-person board of directors for Freedom 2020. And Jonathan and Neil each hold 50% of the company's voting stock and fundamentally disagree on significant aspects of the management and operation of the company. Wow. So they both disagree. It says it right there. It's right there. Journey is currently on tour for the band's 50th anniversary Freedom Tour. However, the deadlock between the company's directors is now interfering with the company's ability to take in even the most basic actions and is causing significant disruptions in the smooth operation of the company. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
No boy.
Retire.
Let's see. Petitioner has repeatedly requested that the respondent consent to the appointment of a third independent director. However, respondent has denied petitioner's requests Instead, respondent now claims without any support at all that in the face of director deadlock, his role as president of the company authorizes him to unilaterally act on behalf of the company. The acts respondent has taken on behalf of the company are not in the company's best interest, says this suit. And the respondent's unilateral acts on behalf of the company pose a severe threat of harm to the company and to Journey's storied history of musical greatness. Therefore, petitioner seeks the immediate assistance of this court to resolve the ongoing deadlock between petitioner and respondent by appointing a custodian to act as the third independent director of the company. Petitioner is an adult individual who resides in Florida, and petitioner is director and vice president and treasurer of the company. Petitioner holds 500 shares of the stock, which is 50% of the company's stock. Petitioner and respondent are the only directors of the company. Wonder why they did it that way, though, to have just the two of them. Because, you know, even if things were good at the time, right, you still got to think in a business way and say, like, is this really the right thing to just have the two of us doing this? Because in the event, you know, just looking forward, in the event something were to happen, or maybe even had someone probably should have advised them that wasn't a good idea to have just the two of them as the voters of the company and just have the two of them making all of the decisions. Like whoever is on the outside, you know, like, don't they get advice from other sources to say, like, that might not be a good idea? I don't know. Allegedly. Just a question, just a thought, like, that I would be thinking in my head. Because this is such a big, I mean, it's a behemoth, right? Journey's a behemoth. Let's see. Factual background. We don't need to go through all of that. That's like, we get it. We get it. Yeah, it's behemoth. I mean, like, you can't, you know. Oh, this is long. A lot of stuff here. So let's just go down to the bottom and see what... Oh, wait a minute. What does that say? A $30,000 limit was placed on respondent's Amex card. Petitioner voluntarily placed the same limit on his own Amex card. Okay, well, that's, you know, so even. I'm not even going to read this. You guys can see it because, yeah, it's all right here, though. You know what? I'm going to just, how about I do this? If you want to read this at your own leisure, I'm going to pop this in the chat. How's that? Let's do that. So... there you go. It's public knowledge. It's all here. I don't subscribe to anything. This is all online. I just feel like this is just not good. This is not going to be good. Really. This is ongoing disagreements. Such negative publicity may potentially impact the band's fan base and is also tarnished and will continue to tarnish the band's trust and credibility with vendors and personnel within the music industry. And strains on the band's relationships with vendors and personnel is likely to lead to a loss of business opportunities for the band and difficulty in attracting and retaining talent and crew members. I mean,
See, I don't know. We don't hear much about that in crew, but it says, indeed, the band has lost multiple members of its crew because of such tensions over the past several months. Now, see, that's stuff we don't hear about, you know. The company's current business manager, who was hired only 2 months ago, is the company's 7th business manager and has already outlasted many of the preceding business managers.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
And they were only hired 2 months ago?
It's amazing.
Oh, Al?
No, I
Al?
was just reacting to what
No, all right,
you're saying.
go over there. Oh, boy. Now, see, to me, that's the big piece right there. From everything I've read, yes, it's all, it's all important information, but that's like, what? And that's what I'm saying. You would think there would be someone saying, well, maybe it shouldn't just be the two of you. Like, who's directing everybody? Man. And I think the problem is when you get to that celebrity status and you have all this money and you have all of this fame, I mean, is it because it's hard to trust anyone? Is it because maybe outside influence is just not the right advice, but you got to be able to trust somebody so that these types of situations could potentially be avoided. Again, just my mom self from the outside looking in and just kind of, trying to maybe eliminate something before it happens. Sometimes we have to do that in life. You try to eliminate a problem before it happens or before it becomes bigger than it should. But to me, that's the wowzer piece of what I've read so far is the business manager situation. Moreover, the deadlock between petitioner and respondent has created a toxic internal environment during the Freedom Tour. Does that mean the whole tour? Rather than focusing on the band's performances during a major international tour, the band's business manager, lead vocalist, and crew members now find themselves caught in the middle of the director's disputes, afraid of performing their job responsibilities and pressured to align with one director or another. See, that sucks. You shouldn't have to take sides. You really shouldn't. You should not be made to take sides. This is intense. This is a lot. I mean, I'm sitting here going, holy macaroni. This is, how do you, and again, now, all right, let's back up a minute. This is from one person's point of view. Okay. This is from Jonathan. So this is one person's point of view, to be fair. If Neil's petition comes out, I will read that, or response, or whatever it's called. I will read that. But wow. Yeah. So we do have to say this is one person's perspective. So together, all of this leads to internal strife among the crew members and personnel. Further, the uncertainty caused by the deadlock has drastically eroded morale, as employees have become disillusioned with the lack of leadership and direction from the band's leaders, petitioner, and respondent. Finally, the inability of the company to make decisions or the unauthorized unilateral decisions made by respondent places the company in precarious financial situations. I'm not even going to read that. You guys can read it, because that's a lot too. And again, one person's perspective. I just have to say that. You really should. You guys really should read through all this. Wow. Not good. Appointment of a custodian. We saw that. Wow. Pray for relief. It's on page 21. Wherefore, petitioner respectfully requests that this court enter an order appointing a custodian pursuant to that article, ordering respondent to cooperate with the custodian and provide information as requested by the custodian, awarding petitioner his attorney's fees and costs in this action, granting such additional reliefs as it deems just and proper. But where's the prayer for relief? Is that what that? Okay. All right. So I guess it's okay. And here are all of the attorneys for Jonathan Cain, dated July 24th of 2024. Wow.
I like Night Ranger. They're a good band.
And like Deej said, and it's true, when they hurt, we hurt, right? Yeah. No. Wow. So I think it's going to be an interesting next, I won't even say couple of weeks. I think the next minute is going to be, it's going to be interesting. I hate to say here we go again. I hope not. I'm just hoping for that. I don't think that'll be the case. I think, if it's anything like last time, I just really, my inner self is saying, maybe they won't say anything. You got to hope that. Because you can't take that stuff back. That's the thing. All of that stuff is still out there. It's still out there. We talked about it. Everybody talked about it. So hopefully a different path is taken this time. And it's zip it a lip and let it just go the way it's got to go. And you fight behind the scenes. You fight behind the scenes. And you don't force people to take sides, because that's where how do you get through? So I was going to look up something here. So Journey has how many more shows? So Journey Tour 2024. Let's see how many shows they have left in the U.S. So they have Boston on Monday, Queens. Let's see, show all dates. So they have a lot of dates still left to go in the U.S. A lot. Like these guys are just kicking it. They're working themselves to the bone. Their last show, it looks like to me, is in Denver at Coors Field on September 8th. So there's still a ways to go. And there's a lot of shows between Monday and September 8th. A lot. I mean, their list is big. Then they're in Japan starting on October 19th. And then they go to the UK, Ireland, UK. And that is happening until November 17th. So there aren't too many shows overseas, but enough to say, like, there's a lot. I mean, these guys are busy, really busy. Let me count. Hold on. No, stop that. Don't do that. I mean, the U.S. shows, I don't know how they do it. There's a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 shows overseas. 15 shows overseas they have to do together, not including what they have to do from Monday in Boston through when they're done here.